lost track of time for a second there. I am here, Mr. Brea. You can call me Marcus. How we doing? Have we had a good week? My week, up and down. Up and down today. Good day. Not much sleep again, but I was up early and did my 30 minutes of strength training with the amazing trainer who's helping look after me. And so, yes, busy week with regards to stuff to talk about, stuff and shit. So if you're in the chat room, say hi. If you're not, then you can't. So what are you going to do? What am I going to talk about today? Well, there's the finale of Marvel's What If. There is Far Cry 6 dropped yesterday. Square Enix have been up to some shithousery with regards to the Marvel game. And of course, indeed, as Raypad so rightly said in the comment section, Ted Lasso finale. Now, I know that some of you haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to save Ted Lasso till the very end of the show. So when we start to talk about it, those of you who haven't seen it yet, basically, can bug out. So let's start. First of all, do you like the new webcam? Totally. I mean, I'm not sure if you're noticing it on your end, but I'm obviously seeing a big difference on my end. I actually got sent. It was very kind, but I got sent this week. The Elgato Facecam, and I'm kind of blown away. I mean, I've loved my Logitech camera that I've had for, oh, God, how long? Decades. This is the old Logitech one, and it served me so well with its amazing Zeiss lens, and it really has been quite amazing. Shouldn't be my internet. It really shouldn't be my internet. My internet should be pinging along, and in fact, let me check that quite quickly and very easily. So let's see. So I'm getting 11 milliseconds latency. Isn't it great that we can actually run tech support while I'm on air? And I can talk to you about the download speeds and upload speeds and the pings of my machine. Yeah, it's not me on this end. I'm getting 693 download and 3988 upload and a ping of 11. So, and it's looking pretty good to me, but I'm biased. So yes, I got a brand new webcam, totally unexpected, was sent out of the blue. And I'm very, very appreciative of it. They also sent some other stuff through, which I haven't really unwrapped or got to get grips with yet. And I may as well. I mean, this wasn't asked for. It was unsolicited. So they sent me this, and I don't know what it's like, but I'm sure, it's Corsair, and it's a wireless headset doodly. And then the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life, this smart lighting towers for one's PC. Not sure why it would want to look like a Welsh disco at 1:30 on a Saturday morning. All that's missing is the smell of kebabs, I guess. But yes, very appreciative of these things that were sent to me. I can't say no. I just have no idea how I'm going to set that particular last one up. But maybe it's time the games room had a remodel. I mean, it's been like this for just over a year. Maybe it's time I repurpose, rebuild, and do some disco. So yes, there you go. Today's drinks are brought to you by the good old reliable cup of Earl Grey. I am Earl Greying it, and let's face it, I'm awesome. I know. Oh. And then also, because it's been a long week and I want to just relax, there's this. This is the Penderyn Tony Porkpipe scotch that I picked up last year when I went to the UK. And the beautiful thing about it is that I got to bottle it myself. bottle it, seal it, write the duty report, get the little stamp and everything. And it's a deliciously sweet scotch, which is my taste. So that is it. And as you can see, there you go. In my laser etched hardest class, I'm just having an afternoon. I'm just having a me afternoon, all about me today. So yes, I'm going to talk about a lot of things. Let's have a look at some of the questions and see who's in the house. Ray Pad already, Matthew Engelbert, Annalise, Sublevel 28, Mark Simpson. Let me see. Babylon 5 remake, says Mark Simpson. Looking forward. I really didn't watch Babylon 5 the first time around, to be honest with you, Mark. The Dune remake, it's going to be on HBO Max here in 14 days, in fact. So yes, I'm going to look forward to that. We're going to wait until it's dark, turn the surround sound up, microwave some popcorn, because let's face it, we're not going to go to the movies when we got it free at home. Oh, that's the other thing we'll talk about. Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Went to see it on Wednesday. The wife surprised me with tickets. She's like, honey, how you feeling? And I'm like, and she said, do you want to go see Venom? I'm like, oh, well, because the last one, despite its amazing cast, it's a fucking horrible film. You got to admit. I was like, she said, okay, I got us tickets. And it just perked me up. It actually made me cry, because she just thought of me and she got tickets. So, and since we've found, we got our local light pick up and running again, and there's no more than 20 people in the theater at one time, and they're all spaced out and everybody wears masks and it's easily checkable. We're a lot more confident. And in fact, week on Monday, we're going to go and see No Time to Die. Yes. So, hi, Simon Sinclair. So yes, there's that one too. I just realized, like I said, I saw that 2 days ago, and I got to say, while it's better than the first one, it feels tighter, more compact. Venom's not cutting it for me in the Marvelverse or in the Sonyverse, if you will. And then there's that post-credit scene, and obviously, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but you can find out about the post-credit scene in particular and how it ties into forthcoming movies and blah blah blah. But yes, this is my quick and dirty take on Venom, and I tweeted this out on Wednesday after watching the film. They're trying to go for a Deadpool vibe of action comedy, falling flat in their face because PG-13. The fact that it's not an R-rated. If Sony had some testicular fortitude or vaginal fortitude, just some fucking fortitude in general, I think you'd find Venom would be really, really good. I think Tom Hardy would actually have a lot more fun with the role. I feel he's playing within himself and holding himself back with Venom, and he co-wrote the story for this one. Woody Harrelson could, he is scene chewing best as Cletus Cassidy, but again, needed more. It wasn't as bloody or as gory or as it should be sweary. It should be Sony's Deadpool. And they shouldn't worry about integrating it into their Spider-Verse. They should just turn around and say, you know what? This is our thing and this is how we're going to do it. And really just go for it. And it does give me cause to worry about upcoming movies like Morbius, which should be leaning towards the darker, should be a little bit more gory, dare I say, adult. Because let's face it, these things are no longer just for little kids. Fuck the little kids, in fact. Don't fuck the little kids. The little kids can piss off. I'm not going to have that one out there. They can fuck off. There you go. I hope my mum's not watching. So I would love to see, those sort of like R-rated. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about the dark R-rated Zack Snyder world, because we all know nobody wants that. Because let's face it, that's just fucking awful. Zack Snyder, as we know, is an hack, and he can go off and do his things, but never in the DC verse again. Amen. Thank God. Happy Hanukkah. Mark Simpson says Venom and Carnage are destroying Fortnite at the moment. Oh, how I wish that was true. How I wish that was true. That that game was being destroyed, because I am just out of shits to give. I know friends make a lot of money off that game because they work for Epic, but I've got to the stage where the gaming snob in me is starting to say that there are games out there that they're just bullshit. It's just repetitive bullshit, lather, rinse, repeat over and over. And we'll talk about a game that's lather, rinse, repeat over and over in a little while. So yes, Venom. If you saw the first one and you liked it, go see a doctor. If you want to see the second one, go see it with my blessing. I mean, it's tight, it's better written, it's got a better story. It just feels restrained. It really does. Great cast as always, including anybody who watched the British comedy show The League of Gentlemen. Cameo by Reece Shearsmith. Right in the most random of places. Second time he's popped up on my TV screens in a week because he was also on Foundation on Apple, the Apple TV show, briefly. So yes, he's just totally bizarre. If you've ever watched The League of Gentlemen, which is a great and very dark comedy show on from the BBC from the mid-90s. Foundation is very interesting. Watch the first 2 episodes. Haven't watched the next ones yet. It looks like it's a time sink. They've already renewed it for season 2, which is good because I'm going to give it a go now. I am very wary of anything that hasn't already been renewed. For example, me and the wife, and just before we get into the fun stuff, because I know some people are going to be joining. Hello, Dave. Are you my wife? The RP Genius will now knows what that is. I mean, it's totally offensive minstrel face. But yes, that character and quite a few others. Yeah, let's have a talk about a couple of things. There's a show that's just started airing called La Brea on NBC, and obviously, we live in Los Angeles or just on the outskirts. We used to live right next to the La Brea tar pits where this show is set. And the premise is very, very simple. A huge sinkhole appears in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard at La Brea, at the tar pits. Goes all the way down to a rift. And this rift is a time portal that takes people back in time. Takes people a long fucking time to realize it's a time portal, by the way. You kind of figured it out quite quickly because this show is about as original as the most unoriginal thing you've ever seen in your life. I'm not even going to come up with something to quantify it. First of all, it's kind of a knockoff from that movie, that show Terra Nova from about a decade ago that Fox did, shot in Australia, cost $20 million an episode or whatever the fuck it was, and was cancelled after 1 year. The cast, while some really good actors in there, are given, their characters are as dumb as a fucking post. I mean, a bag of hammers has a better collective IQ than any of these characters because they just do all the tired tropes that you usually do. They run, they don't stop. They don't run, they stop, they look. They see something, they run away from it even though they know it's going to chase them. They see somebody, they're in a car and there's a big monster thing outside and somebody's trying to get in because the car is inexplicably locked itself and they won't reach over to unlock the car. There's a big rift thing in the sky, which is the bottom of the La Brea tar pits. And this rift is literally a rip-off of the rift from Star Trek Generations, the old movie where we did the crossover from OG Star Trek to Next Gen. That rift, they basically said, you know what? We're going to lift that. Pass me the green felt tip. Colored it green, slapped it in there. So yeah, there's that. And all around, it's just pretty shit. And I watched the first episode, or 2/3 of the first episode, and went, love you, honey, I'm out. Wife's sitting there laughing her ass off at it. And she said, oh, there's the second episode. Are you going to join me? And I said, F no. And so she watched the second one. And I guarantee you that is the first major cancellation of the 2021 season. My commiserations to anybody who worked on that show, with the exception of the writers, because you wrote a bag of shit. All right, so yeah, that's that one out of the way. Let's see. Yeah, I know you used to work across the street from the tar pits, Ray Pad. Let's see. Mark Simpson on the Fortnite queue. What do you think about cross-platform gaming? X-platform. What the X-platform? X-platform power. Considering the tech advantage, PC builders. Well, look. I mean, it comes down to if you're doing cross-platform, it comes down to your tech with regards to how it connects from PC to Sony to Xbox to Switch to Stadia to whatever. And that's where your game is only going to play as well as the software you use to connect. And every company has their own proprietary tech for crossplay. I don't think there's one particular crossplay thing they lever in, because there's anti-cheating, there's security, all sorts of other fun things. So I don't think that we have a difference, because I'm playing something on a high-end PC. I don't think I have an advantage unless it comes down to the difference would be that versus that. I mean, there are people who are really good with the controller, and then there's the keyboard and mouse jockeys who have been doing this for donkey's years. So that's where I think it comes down to. I mean, personally, I'm always a better player of shooters on simple shooters, put it that way, on keyboard and mouse, because I can control things a lot better, and my aiming is much more precise. Cup of tea. Nice cup of tea. So yes, all right. Now then, let's talk about the game stuff before we get to the TV stuff. Let's start off with Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is the 6th entrance in the Far Cry series from Ubisoft, in case you didn't know. Now, I liked Far Cry 5. I liked Far Cry 3, and I liked Blood Dragon. The rest of them could take them or leave them. Blood Dragon, gonzo, 1980s neon-inspired craziness, $15 game. Far Cry 3, I know it had its detractors, but it was the first time I really got into it and got to play it on a top-of-the-range PC at that time. And then Far Cry 5, who doesn't like killing a bunch of weird right-wing cultists, virtually, of course, in a video game? Matthew Thomas, I don't include Primal. Primal is just it's just not canon in my book. But thank you for bringing up Primal. Yes, I did actually play Primal. In fact, I played every one except for the first one. And ironically, the first one was I wrote the press release announcing that Ubisoft had acquired the Far Cry engine when I started Ubisoft 20 years ago. So, yeah, doesn't time fly? You know what else happened 20 years ago? Launch Ghost Recon, which is now available on Ubi Connect. I don't know if you saw my tweet. If you've got Ubi Connect on your PC, get the original Ghost Recon. It's free right now. It's the game I repped and launched. Get it. It's free. It's, I mean, obviously it's not going to have aged well graphic-wise. It's a 20-year-old game, but it's still kick-ass tactical. It was like the first tactical shooter. I mean, really, that took the RPG-like element. I mean, Rainbow Six was probably the first and the best, but this one brought an RPG-like element to it, and you can see its fingerprints over most PC games, most shooters today, in my opinion. So yes, let's get back to Far Cry 6. So I was on the fence for Far Cry 6. One, because I've seen a lot of previews and people have been like, and two, I'm not a big fan of Ubisoft right now, even though I just say go and get this game for free from them, which is Ghost Recon. That's more to do with the fact that I worked on it. My name's in the fucking credits, and I'm awesome. So yeah, I was on the fence. So actually, I did drop some money to buy it yesterday, and I played about an hour. maybe an hour and a half. And let's talk first of all about the things that I like about it. Is it gorgeous? Absolutely. We know these games are all gorgeous. It starts off with, first of all, giving you options, which will, I will applaud Ubisoft for including these options because they are for people with disabilities or otherly abled, sight, sound, hearing difficulties, motion difficulties. Basically, it's good stuff to have these options that allow people to play their game as best they can and enjoy this game without their disabilities. And look, I can't fucking do the whole grammar thesaurus thing anymore. I'm going to say disabilities without the disabilities hampering them, which is great. More people can play games. Great. Love it. Carry on. And then the game starts, and the game is beautiful. There's a bunch of characters. They're all they like to let you know that they're revolutionaries right from the get-go. They're revolutionaries. They tell you they're revolutionaries 250,000 times in the first 10 freaking minutes. And then there's the cutscenes that are in game engine and look great. And Giancarlo Esposito just says his stuff, and he's fantastic because he's a great actor anyway. And he sets himself up as Boo Hiss, big bad pantomime villain. And then the game starts, and much like Assassin's Creed, unfortunately, Far Cry is just Far Cry. It's more Far Cry. And as I've said in the past, where Assassin's Creed is the most Assassin's Creed you could ever Assassin's Creed. Well, Far Cry 6 is the most Far Cry you could ever expect a Far Cry from Ubisoft, because it is dull in so many ways, pointless, stupid side quests, gorgeous to look at, but repetitive. The idea of having a fucking crocodile as your pet sidekick, the whole thing that they still have this hunting aesthetic where you get to shoot and kill animals. And look, this is old man me. This is animal lover me. You know me, I'm not a wuss. I just think it's quite ridiculous that they still say, oh, you have to kill 40,000 deer to be able to build an attacked walker. Oh, that went down the wrong way. Oh, that did. That would have brought tears to a glass eye. I talked a little bit too much. My throat got a little raw. Third drink, good old-fashioned Pellegrino. Yeah, so I don't think the hunting thing just winds me up. I don't need it anymore. In games where, it's like Assassin's Creed set in the past or whatever, and they're the only materials you can get, fair enough. But a game set in a modern day revolution in a, mythical island that's totally not Cuba, do you really need to kill a bunch of wild animals for their pelts? I don't fucking think so. Another tired trope. You can play as male or female. That's great. You can't really customize them. Oh, well. But, I mean, it's just so dull and repetitive. And I actually saw a comment here. I'm going to highlight this so that everybody in the stream after this can see this. Thank you. Mark Simpson, it may be an age thing. I'm with you. Now, Far Cry tries to be open world, and it is to a lot of ways. The problem with Far Cry for me is that it's picking on something, and it's basically saying, "Oh, we're definitely not Cuba," wink, wink, and just treating that subject matter so lightly. And they should have just come out and said, "We are fucking Cuba," or put it somewhere else. But it's a grind. They've seemed to have removed the RPG element. The RPG element's gone out the window because now it's all a case of pants and outfits. You collect all the outfits. The outfits, they can give you extra ammo, this, that, and the other. So you can't really up your skills. and there are weapons and the things you can design, and they will give you these additional powers, and then you can carry all these amazing things as well. I mean, you're the world's strongest avatar apparently, because you're always carrying 30 or 40 pieces of clothing, and it's just done to death. There's no originality in it whatsoever, and it's time to either rework Far Cry completely or send it to a farm up state, have somebody shoot it with a crossbow, skin it, and turn it into a purse or something. I mean, yeah, I thought initially when we saw it, it was going to be a little more gritty, a little more fun. Gritty and fun can be a thing, and not too much of the same lather, rinse, repeat we've come to expect from the Far Cry franchise. But much like Assassin's Creed, even though Assassin's Creed Origins gave us a reworking of the franchise and kind of rebooted it, Valhalla is still Origins 2. And whatever they're going to do next will be the same as Origins, because they haven't really amended it that much. So I basically played it for about an hour and a half, got sick of it, got pissed off that I'd spent $60 on it, and got a refund for it. I very rarely get refunds for games. In fact, there's only been 2 games ever I've asked for a refund for. The first one was Evil Genius 2, which was just so disappointing, bait and switch. Such a disappointment to me. And then there was this one. I have lots of crap games on my Steam and my Epic Games accounts. But I was like, you know what? Fuck you, Ubisoft. You're not going to get this one out of me. You're not going to get this $60 out of me. I may revisit this when it's on $9.99 sale in about 6 months' time, or a year's time, or maybe I never will revisit it. I'm just done with the companies like Ubisoft who have this bullshit going on corporate-wise, and they haven't made any changes up top, much like Epic hasn't made any changes up top, much like Activision hasn't made any changes up top on how, I won't be going, for example, to get Diablo 4, which will kill me because I know that's going to be a good game. But yeah, they don't get my $60. So, obviously they didn't release a demo because why would they? And so fuck them. I took the game back to the virtual storefront, and I got my refund. And I thoroughly recommend you trying it and doing the same if you want to. But for me, no, done, no more. And in fact, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of done with Ubisoft titles. Marcus doesn't have a drinking problem. I drink, no problem. Let's see. All right, what else? Yeah, grind and engagement doesn't wash anymore. Exactly. I mean, look, there's a grind, and I'm going to throw you a perfect counterpoint to Far Cry 6. Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk busted Cyberpunk game from CD Projekt that on my PC I have replayed 4 times since it came out a year ago. Not even a year ago. I've experienced all the endings, and I still go back for more. Why? Because it's fucking fun. Yes, there are side quests, but they don't feel like a grind. The characters feel interesting. Is there a lot more stuff that I'd love to be able to do in that world? Yes, but who knows if I'll ever get to see that. I hope they've got shit coming. But yes, it's just a great game if it works. If it works on your machine. But yeah. So on to the next gaming thing let's talk about. Hi, Dan. Hi, Broomstick. Yeah, Beyond Good. Hi, Boss Dooley. Matthew Thomas. Everybody's here. Mike Futter. Well, if Mike Futter... hang on. Let's see. Mike Futter just texted me, my good friend. Doing my stream, Mike. Come say hi. There you go. So when Mike Futter appears, we can all say hi in the things and thank him for Raypad, behave. Yeah, we can all say hi to him. But yes, where was I? All right, so that's where I stand on Ubisoft. Boom, 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 done, done, and done. Yeah, let's talk about Marvel Avengers, of Square Enix Marvel's Avengers. Now, I know I've ragged on this game before, and I've ragged on it often. And I've tried to find the good in it, and the good is the Kamala Khan story and the Kamala Khan acting, and I think it's a great story from her perspective that's let down by an engine that's not fit to be called this particular game. Not to be called a game engine because it's the fucking Tomb Raider repurposed engine that just does the same thing the Tomb Raider does. Boring. Is it gorgeous to look at? Yeah, it is gorgeous to look at. Is it horrible to play? Absolutely, it's fucking horrible to play. Does it have a microtransaction issue? Yes, and I'm glad we brought that up because let's talk about the latest microtransaction issue. Because since it dropped on the Xbox Games Pass this past week, hey, look, Mike Futter's here, everybody. The guy who texted me during my stream. Everybody say hi to Mike and say, why aren't you here on a regular basis? It's not like I'm reinventing the wheel. There's only a finite number of these streams, and he doesn't turn up every week. I mean, what the hell? What sort of friend are you, Michael? I tease. He's one of my best friends. He's a good boy. So they dropped Avengers onto the Xbox Games Pass this week, and the numbers have gone through the roof. It's available on the PC version as well. I've seen it on my Xbox Pass on my PC. And the player numbers have gone through the roof. So it's like, oh, great, said Square Enix. This is wonderful. More microtransactions for us. We can sell more of our 36,000 different currencies so that you can buy a Thor outfit that looks like shit for $15. And obviously, we've discussed all the issues I have with that and the cosmetics, but for the longest time they said we will only sell cosmetics. The suits won't have any special power-ups, and we will never sell XP packs. Guess what they did this week? They started dropping XP boosters after nerfing the XP that you get from playing the game on a regular, in the regular mode. So now, not only when you play the game, is it the most lame gameplay ever known to man, and certainly an insulting slap in the face to every single Marvel fan, it's now even more of a grind because it's going to take so much longer to level up. So great, I have to go and replay all these fucking missions because if I want to get all my characters to a certain level, I'm going to have to get all that XP from redoing the missions. Or I'm going to have to go and give Square Enix more money. And so, oh, hang on, Square Enix, what have I got in my pockets for you? Pa-ching, pa-ching. There you go. You cannot have any more of my money. I made the mistake of buying that game on the fucking PlayStation. And I played it through all the way to the end. And I give you credit for the Kamala Khan story. Hate the fucking voice acting. No offense to the voice actors, but I'm sorry. You should have gone with sound alikes. Kamala Khan, fine, unique, great. The engine looks gorgeous, plays like a dog, much like the previous two Tomb Raiders. So I am going to say to everybody who is interested in the Marvel games, let's do something bold and fun. Let's turn around and boycott Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, there you go. There's a hashtag I can get behind. Let's boycott the Guardians of the Galaxy game because Square Enix are going to pull the same bullshit. But you say, Marcus, this is not Guardians is not a multiplayer game like Avengers. No, but it's a game with the same fucking engine and the same fucking dynamics and the same fucking shitty level of voiceoverism, and you only get to play as fucking Star-Lord. What you can call in Gamora and Groot and Rocket and Drax. Great, because it encourages teamwork with your AI partner. Great. I'm fucking excited about that. I'm so ecstatic. This is my ecstatic face. Can you feel it? So yes, I am boycotting that game. I urge you all to do the same and let Square Enix know that you're going to boycott their game because they don't deserve the fucking Marvel license. And I feel sorry for Crystal Dynamics, because there are some good people up there who are trying to make good games. But unfortunately, they are crippled by a stupid company called Square Enix, who still can't get away from making shitty JRPGs. So Square Enix, go and make your shitty JRPGs that people grow out of. I mean, people, grown-ups, grow out of. And then let Square Enix go somewhere else so they can actually make some good shit. Obviously, I like the the game that came out this year from People Can Fly. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I also the name of the title, because I'm getting old and I also have cancer drug fog brain. I'm not racist against JRPGs. I have taste, Drapad. I'm not a fucking 12-year-old girl in a boy's body. I mean, seriously, if you fucking still go squee over Final fucking Fantasy VIII Remake, get a fucking clue. It's 36 hours of video footage and then 20 hours of grind with a bunch of fucking idiotic characters that make no sense whatsoever. And yes, I did used to love them, but I grew out of them. When? 30 fucking years ago. It's great on the Game Boy. It was good on the PS1, but since then, it's the same fucking shit over and over. I have great taste. I am not laying off the JRPGs. I am getting cranky. This is my truth. I am dying. So that's my truth from now on. I am going to try and be honest wherever I can, and I'm going to try and be nice wherever I can. But let's face it, I have nothing but, with the exception of Nino Kuni, because they had a character with a Welsh fucking accent in it, I am so sick of the bullshit JRPG games. I try them, they're repetitive, they're sad, fuck them. Ditto Fortnite. And look, you can play them, you can enjoy them, more power to you, but I still think they're fucking stupid and you're an idiot for buying them. Said with love, hashtag. So yes, going back to Square Enix. Yes, I do think we should all turn around and tell them that we're not going to buy Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's going to be another shit fest. And we should also talk to the games journalists who are pimping Guardians of the Galaxy right now, who are the same ones who pimped Avengers. Because let's face it, everybody could see from the very first trailer that game was going to be a turd souffle, and people have still been kind of like surprised. Well, it came out, it looks nice. We're going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's going to be a fucking turd souffle. Looks like it. Is going to be, was going to be, and is. And now people are finally coming around and saying, "Oh, Square Enix, you're very naughty boys and girls." But no, Guardians is going to be the same amount of shit. And I've seen the previews, and everybody's like, "Oh, but this one, it seems to work really well." It's like you could see people scrabbling to try and come up with fucking ways to creatively not piss off Square Enix, because God forbid, you get put on the blacklist for Final Fantasy Masturbation Tactics 96, the Unicorn's Dick, or whatever it's going to be called. Man or woman up? Nut up, fess up, front up. Call companies out for this shit. Square Enix has been crap for years. They shouldn't have the Avengers license. They shouldn't have the Marvel license. Marvel should yank it on a point of principle and say, you know what? You shit, fuck off. When I had more fun out of the Marvel Diablo clone, which was, what was that called? Oh, God, hang on. I just got to open my Steam. Bear with me. Steam library. Let's see. Marvel Heroes Omega. Remember that one? That was a repetitive Diablo clone that I played so much, and Marvel yanked the license. And that game was fun, but it was repetitive, and it was, a dungeon crawler, but it was a multiplayer one. That was such a great game. Ultimate Alliance, that's another one. Ultimate Alliance, that's another great one. Even I see people bitching about Ultimate Alliance 3. Hell, it's the only game I've played for any amount of time on my fucking Switch. It's the only reason I'm glad I've got a Switch, because I played it and I enjoyed it and I liked it. But what I'm saying is Square Enix doesn't deserve this fucking IP. So boycott the game. Boycott the game. That's what I say. Look, I know people love JRPGs, and I rant and I rave. I used to love them too. I got bored of them. I got bored of them, especially in the PlayStation era, because, as I said, they became buzzword for overly long exposition via movies and repetitive, grindy gameplay. And I've never really been into that sort of like culture. I mean, I watched anime, a little bit of anime. I watched manga, but again, not my cup of tea. So I don't really identify with that. And I know there are people who do it and are very into these things, but it's a generational thing. I'm an old fucking man. I shout at the clouds when they piss me off. For example, when it's cloudy and there's no rain, I get pissed. I want my rain. So yes. Let's see. How much do you think? Square Enix is. Oh, you're trading on installment. Yes, because it's all Marvel. Does the average Walmart buyer know that it's different devs? I think yes. I think look, the days of you are going to get little Johnny, little Sally, or whoever getting bought games by grandparents. But now the kids are more informed. The grown-ups are more informed. And let's face it, the amount of people who buy games now are actually so much older because we are all aging as the game industry ages, that people are more aware. I think the whole, because it's all Marvel thing, that doesn't really matter anymore. It doesn't cut any weight. The reason it's doing as well as it is because it's now free on Games Pass. So it's exposed to a whole bunch of people. The other thing is that obviously these people will not get a Spider-Man game or Spider-Man in there. Yeah, because obviously Square Enix have been very sneaky and are kind of, screwing over the Xbox and PC gamer by not giving them that character. All the while saying, oh, but you can play it on Games Pass. Well, that doesn't do anything for anybody who's already bought the fucking thing. So yes, there you go. That's that one. So there's those two games out of the way. Now then, let's talk about. I want to ask actually, is anybody playing New World, the MMO? I got asked earlier this week if I wanted to hop on and form a, join a group with somebody and play it. I'm like, no. But I'm seeing some positive things. I just think it might be a bit too dull for me. I mean, I like my things to be sort of like, sci-fi, like Star Wars or, heavy swords and sorcery. So yeah, and Futterish is playing it. All right, we're gonna have to have a chat then. I don't know. I think I'm gonna need more than just the fact that there's no mounts. I don't think you get superpowers like magic powers or anything like that. Yeah, you and I are gonna have to talk. Yes, allegedly it is the one that kills the GPUs. Allegedly. So that's kind of fun too. So yes, if you are playing this game, let me know. Let me know on Twitter @AnnoyedGamer. Let me know in the comments. Let me know why I should drop $40 for this game, even though it's cheaper than Far Cry 6. Tea good in my throat. All right, let's talk about What If, because it came to a culmination this week where all the threads that they had left dangling throughout the season came together in one pretty watcher-tied bow in the reds, greens, blues, oranges, pinks, purples, puces, and aquamarines of the many Infinity Stones. And it did serve to tell me one thing, that Marvel no longer can tell a story and end it. One story. And initially, for the longest time, I loved that everything had its fingers and everything else. That everything was like, oh, I watched that, but oh, there's some little tendrils going into here. And then, oh, that's where those tendrils came out. And I loved that about Marvel. They became the masters of it. Now, however, it's to the stage where stories are not being finished because of the tendrils. Everything feels like a precursor or a prequel or an appetizer to the next thing that then feels like an extended appetizer. No matter how much I enjoyed Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, WandaVision, bits of What If, they all feel like this is just another step to get you onto the next step. I'm getting the Marvel equivalent of blue balls. And when you've got prostate cancer, the last thing you want is your balls doing anything untoward. Trust me. And I can see how this is going to only get worse. Everybody's trying to do it now. Sony are doing it with Venom, obviously, you know, Spideyverse, etc., etc. Everybody's having a a post credits scene that is, you know, meant to, you know, make people go, oh, but what if? And ooh, yeah. And I mean, shit, even the Fast and the Furious fucking movies are doing it. I watched Fast 9 last week as well. I rented that one. Shauna was out. She'd gone to a concert last Saturday night. All vaccinated people, all masked, outdoor concert, last one of the season, with a couple of her friends. And she knows well enough that I don't go to that shit. I gotta say, being immunocompromised because of the old big C is actually working out quite well for me, because I don't have to do half the shit people want me to. Whereas before it was like, oh, I'm an old curmudgeon who just doesn't want to do this. Now it's like, oh, yeah, I really can't go out. It's too risky, or I'm not feeling well. So Ray Padilla, who I hung out with 2 weeks ago, you should feel really fucking grateful, man. That's how much I love you, brother. You and Paul, I came and hang out with you, and we had fun because I wanted to see you. So I just given the game away that anybody and everybody who's now going to. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. I'm back. Anyone and everyone who asks me to do certain things and I say no, well, they're always going to be saying now, oh, is he genuinely sick or genuinely worried, or is he just being a prick? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great with regards to my mystique? And then anybody who gets to do stuff with me, you just know how much I like you. That's the best thing. So yes, What If? By the way, I'm growing the hair out with a streak of thing. I'm going full Trent Crim independent. And we'll get to him in a minute. What If they finally wrapped it up in a big bow and then left it all ready for season 2 again, because that's what Marvel do. And we saw the team that had been built from the various universes come together to battle Time Stone wielding Ultron in Vision's body, and then it came down to this battle between Ultron and the virus from a previous episode that was on a funny USB. I'm trying not to spoil it, and we saw that everybody went through their things and did their stuff, and I still say the only satisfying stories have been, in fact, has been the Stephen Strange one, because that felt like, ooh, all encompassing. Ooh, we got an ending, but no, they brought him back, and then ooh, then one more time, poor bastard. Evil Stephen Strange was just so good. So yes, I'm glad it's done. Don't know how interested I am in season 2. More interested in Hawkeye because it's Christmas and it's a Christmas set story, and I actually like Hawkeye. I don't know what it is that appeals to me about this guy. I mean, his eye, basically, he can see very well. That's his fucking superpower. He can see very well. I mean, he'd be great at Counter-Strike or Fortnite or whatever, because, you know, he'd be great at shooting everything. You give him a high-end PC with a super fucking res, everybody be dead in 10 seconds. But there is just something about Hawkeye and Jeremy Renner. There is something about Renner that's eminently likable. A lot of people say Renner's got a punchable face. I don't think so. He is fun. I watched him in the movie Tag, which is a stupid fucking movie, and I really liked him in that. I even liked him in the non-Jason Bourne Born Treadstone, the Born Experiment, the Born Extremities, whatever the hell it was called, which was an awful film. But I still liked him in it. So, yes, I'm looking forward to Hawkeye. But I would like these things to sort of like start to tie up. So, yes, standout episode was the Stephen Strange one. I did like Captain Carter. Obviously, would love to see more of her. Got sick of everything not being tied up, and then everything was tied up. But you literally, I was watching the finale, right? So they've got Captain Carter, they've got Black Widow, they've got Stephen Strange, they've got Thor, they've got T'Challa, they've got he's gonna do that thing, Killmonger. Look, here comes the zombies will be here in a second. I literally could have played Marvel What If Bingo and done a shot every time one of the the things from the previous episodes turned up, and I'd have been drunk inside 10 minutes. Born Legacy. That's the thing. The Born Legacy. Yes. Super Moxie says, watched Black Widow the other day, thought it was crap. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. I enjoyed it. It just felt like it was 5 years too late, 6 years too late. Should have happened before Endgame. I mean, it would have been great to see, or even before Infinity War. That's when it should have been filmed. That's when it should have come out, before Infinity War. Take her place in the timeline would have made her death all the more impactful. Just saying. Bear with me 1 second. I have to check on something very, very important. Football. Nice. Okay. So, before we get to Lasso, I'm going to talk football because obviously when I get into Lasso, a lot of you are going to leave. I see a lot of people are already pissed off anyway. Czech Republic has just drawn with Wales, which is a good result for Wales because we were away for a World Cup qualifying. Sucks because apparently we should have won that one. And let's also talk about Newcastle United because they have just been bought out by the Saudi royal family. And I think it's disgusting. And I think it's blood money. And I can understand Newcastle supporters being happy because they've had 15, 20, 30 years of shit under some shit. And actually, no, 15 years of shit under Mike Shepard or whatever his name is, Shepard Ferry. But it should never be allowed to happen. And both, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, all those Middle Eastern despots, Americans, they should all be banned from owning Premier League clubs because they're not fit. The Cronkies, Fenway Park people, Boston, who own Liverpool, Man United, the Glazers, Man City, the Etihad Group, they should all be banned because they're all dubious, scurvy fuckers. Kick them all out. And then kick every other team out, like, Paris Saint-Germain. They can go too. And the shit bastards behind Barcelona and PS and Real Madrid, because they are nothing but shell corporations that are running way beyond their means. And they're ruining football. Let's get down to a level playing field again. Pun intended. So, yes, there you go. All right. So, it's time. It's time to talk about AFC Richmond. It's time to talk about the finale of Ted Lasso that dropped last night. Me and the missus watched it right off the bat because you have to. Long episode. This is going to have some spoilers. In fact, it's going to have a shit ton of spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the Ted Lasso season finale yet, wave bye-bye and come back later. Check the stream when when it's uploaded. There is no Matthew Thomas. There is no way that anybody is recruiting me for a Game Trailers reboot. I don't have the wherewithal to do it. I'd love to do some stuff with those guys, catch up with the the Easy Allies crew and with Shane and Sifted. But yeah, those days are long gone. So. All right. 5. Ted Lasso discussion starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it dropped last night.
Some information.
Shut up, you stupid phone. Okay, interrupting me. Yes, we got to the end of the season that Jason Sudeikis called The Empire Strikes Back, and we saw who went to the dark side. We saw closure for some people's arcs, emotional arcs for the season, which was great. They actually did tie up most things, and this left. They even tied up one and then introduced the big bad for next season. Let's talk about the cool bits first of all. The fun bits, or the bits that were tied up. Roy Kent didn't, but Jamie Tart for telling Keeley he loved her. Keeley's off to be a PR person. Well, he did butt him, but later on, so he could hug him afterwards when they got promotion. Because obviously, this thing, they got promotion. And talk about spoilers. Apple and the Premier League, like idiots, announced this week that they'd reached a deal so that Apple could license Premier League grounds, video, etc., for Ted Lasso next season. Which basically meant, doink, we all knew they were getting promoted. So somebody in those PR teams needs to have a boot right up their asshole, because that ruined the fucking surprise for everybody. We all knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. So there you go. So yes, the AFC Richmond got promoted. They're in the Premier League. They drew, ironically, with Brentford, who are actually in the Premier League this season, who drew my Liverpool a couple of weeks ago and beat Arsenal first night out, and are doing quite well. I think they're 7th right now. So the footballing side was great. Keely's off to get her own PR agency, so she's going to leave, but she'll still be there. But she's still with Roy Kent, who seems very happy and seems to be the prototypical man. The man we all should and would want to be, in that, respectful, supportive. This hard man who is in touch with his softer side. Yeah, even Jamie Tart grew up this season. And then we had Ted with his father issues and his panic attacks. And he had the good doctor helping him out, who was amazing. And I just learned she's back next season, along with Trent Krim, independent. He will be back, even though he got fired from his job. He wrote the story about Ted's panic attacks and revealed to Ted that Nate was the leaker. Nate, the snake in the grass. Nate, the nasty little motherfucker who has gone from getting his chance and being the tortured, abused, ignored soul, to letting his narcissism spiral. And I find it interesting, if you watch through both seasons, in fact, but this season in particular, his hair has got grayer and grayer and grayer as he's become more of a prick. And Nate is the big bad for next season, because Richmond are going to be back in the Premier League. They're going to play West Ham, which is now owned by Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Anthony Head. So yeah, those teams are going to have London derbies every 2 of them every season. They'll probably get drawn together in a cup as well, just to up the ante. And we will see that if Nate is the wonderkind or wonder kid, and will he mastermind wins over Richmond? Probably he will. The first game will probably be 3 or 4-0 to West Ham, because they have the bigger resources than Richmond. And then you will see, there'll probably be a twatting. And then you will see the next game be a plucky defeat for Richmond. And then you will see it come down to a pivotal game at some point that Richmond will sneak and they will outplay West Ham, and Nate will learn a lesson and rage quit and whatever, but he's become basically Darth Vader. Nick Mohammed is a fantastic actor. First of all, he's a great comedic actor, of which that's what he's known for in the UK. He's a great comedic actor. He's very understated, but the way he's transformed into a dramatic actor and I don't know what dramatic stuff else he's done, so I'm probably doing him a disservice, but I thought he's been fucking fantastic. Absolutely. As have all the cast. But you could just see everything boiling up inside him. And it's the years of abuse from an abusive father, which is a theme that runs through this like a fucking, like a gold vein. I mean, everybody seems to have an abusive father. Ted has one. Jamie Tart has one. Nate has one. The main characters who are the main, the ones with the dysfunctions that, that really stand out are the ones with the crappy fathers. And then you have somebody like Roy Kent, who's a father figure to his niece, and he's a wonderful father figure to his niece. And then you've got Higgins, who's a wonderful father. Obviously, sorry, Rebecca's father was a prick. So, and they, he was deaded. So yeah, next year we'll probably find out about the rest of the everybody's father. Sam's father, wonderful relationship. So there's literally no in between. It's either your father was a dick or your father's awesome. So I got to say, the writing room there must be really, really incredible at times with some of the discussions that are going on. Good God, Roy of the Rovers. Oof. Yeah, Mark Simpson just threw out Roy of the Rovers. That's a long time ago. I remember reading that comic when I was a kid. So yeah, I got to say, Ted Lasso, it all just wound up and wound up. My only issue is that we got a halftime conversation between Nate and Ted when Nate said, "Oh, you stopped loving me because I loved you." I mean, he treated Ted like a jilted fucking lover, or a lover that jilted him, because Ted had given him attention and respect. But then, because Nate wasn't the center of Ted's world, he had a team to worry about and his own family who were the other side of the fucking world. And he was getting divorced, so he's losing that family, and he was a stranger in a strange land. But Nate, the narcissist, clung on to this, as most narcissists do. And then when they saw that they weren't the number one priority, they turned into absolute pricks. Yeah, we got this halftime discussion, or basically just Nate spewing shit and then fucking off. It makes you think that the team plan that he introduced for this false number 9 for the final game was always going to be a setup for them to fail. And he looked so miserable when they scored. He looked so miserable when they equalized. And he stormed off. And then you saw when Ted got back to his desk, the beloved was ripped in two. And then you saw at the very end, Nate training the West Ham team training like stormtroopers. It was like something out of Rocky almost. The Ivan Drago montages of training sequences. Or if you went back to Cobra Kai, or the Karate Kid version of Cobra Kai, not the newer version, but I mean that whole everybody's like, oh, does this automatons. Shaolin Soccer, the movie Shaolin Soccer, the team that they play at the end, which are just these stereotype monstrous things that are just trained in tanks and injected with all these steroids and everything. That's what he seems to be turning West Ham into. And you just see a white-haired Nick Mohammed as Nate, who is just, like he said, he's become full-on Vader. And will he get his redemption? That's the key. So Ted Lasso will return next August. I don't know what I'm going to do till then. I'll find plenty to watch. But I got to say, it was just a great... Oh, and a lot of people have left because viewership has plummeted. Hello, Under George. Nice of you to join. But it's a great series, a great show. I love it. Cheers to Ted Lasso. Am I planning to resurrect the AG videos? I don't think so. I mean, I love doing this once a week, and interacting with everybody this way. I don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the time, especially with the treatments, because it does take it out of me. I don't have that energy to get wound up about individual 15-minute specific segments about things. I'd much rather do this, talk to everybody answer questions. It's more fun this way. I don't really care that there's not a huge viewership for it. I mean, I've got 200 to 300 views a week across YouTube, maybe even up to 400 in some cases between YouTube and Twitch, and it's just fun to interact with people. To be honest with you, there's enough people doing it. I don't have the technical expertise. I certainly don't have the desire to learn that shit. I'm too old. I'm too sick to do that. Today I've expended a lot of energy. I'm about to hit a hot flash, which obviously is a side effect of the chemo drugs, I think, as I've said before. But I would probably go now and sleep for at least 10 hours because I talked to you and I got excited and I got animated and the Far Cry stuff. And it was nice to talk about the Far Cry stuff and have a rant about Marvel and the Avengers and go off on a tangent here and there, which is just the great thing about being able to do this. But yeah, that over my shoulder comes out every now and again. Came out today for a couple of minutes, but those shows are long gone. But thank you very much for asking. I very much appreciate it. And thank you for asking, Anna George. I really appreciate it. Any thoughts on the Twitch leak, RP Genius? Yes, actually, because I had to redo my password and everything. I'm going to turn around and say that I've been thinking about this for a while. I mean, one, how stupid is it that Twitch got hacked and the entire fucking site got hacked and stolen? How bad is that? I mean, especially, in the week of the Facebook debacle. Yeah, it's sad. It's frightening. It's Twitch. And look, this is the way of the world. You have Twitch makes a lot of money off very few people. I could tell you I haven't had a payout from Twitch. I've been doing this since, crikey, February, I think it was. I did the first one, maybe in January. I can't quite remember. I haven't had one payout from Twitch with regards to hitting any of their goals, and you have to get to $100 worth of goals to get a payout. And so anything I put on Twitch is secondary. So yeah, I think it sucks that they got hacked and that people's passwords got compromised and their data. Luckily, I've never entered any payment data because I haven't really qualified for anything. And I don't think I will because this is just reinforced to me and I wanted to talk to everybody about it here. I give people advance warning in the coming weeks. I'm going to deactivate the Twitch stream. I'm just going to focus on YouTube. Easier for me to manage. I can get off Restream. I can just do YouTube direct. I can interact better. I can do the private streams better. That are part of the Twitch perk, the Patreon perks. So over the coming weeks, if you do have a YouTube account, please feel free to log in. Go to youtube.com/c/Marcus Brea, I think it is. The link's in the tweet I just put out earlier. Oh, in fact, hang on. Oh, look at this. Where is it? There you go. Boom. Look at that. I actually remembered it. So that's the YouTube one. If you have a YouTube account and a Google account, that's the one to bookmark moving forward. That's the one to look at because there are the thing that saddens me, and not so much from my perspective, but from others is, and this is just the way the world rolls. We know this, that once you start making a shit ton of money, you get promoted and you get pushed and everybody's like, oh, look at this guy. These people, these are the best people to look at. Somebody said that they logged out of Twitch and then just went to look at it in new browser, no cookies, whatever, and to see who was being pushed, see if any new creators were being pushed. And it was all the same people. And it was just disheartening for them. And I know every site's the same, but I'd much rather focus all on one, and I'm going to focus on doing it on YouTube. I'm giving everybody an advance notice. It's definitely by the end of the year, maybe even sooner, maybe by the time we get to Thanksgiving, I will start just doing streaming solely on YouTube. So fair warning. And I'm not only that, I'm just going to delete everything, delete the account, because I just don't want them making money off my content. because they're obviously running ads and all this, and they, yes, they're providing a service, but nah, done. So yeah, so that's me. That's my thoughts on it. So that's the YouTube one, and come join me. Obviously, there's also, there's a bunch of stuff in the YouTube archives from like a decade ago when I tried to do this, like Assassin's Creed playthroughs, I think from Syndicate. Random. Obviously, I've got the Patreon. If you have signed up, I think you should for the tier 3, which is the some of you should be getting notifications. I think 2 of you should be getting notifications this in the next week or so from Patreon that your mugs have shipped. I think a couple of you will get the same next month, and then one will get theirs in time for Christmas. So as always, thank you for that. Thank you for that major support. It's incredible, especially as me being able to work is going to be more and more impacted over the coming weeks and months as the treatments go up. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed on the Patreon, there's 3 tiers. Bottom one is $3 a month. You get access to the Discord. Come in, we're building a nice little community. People are chatting away, talking, sharing music, that sort of stuff. 6, you're supposed to get a special extra show. Haven't been able to do that recently. And then the mug is the main draw on the 3rd tier. And obviously, I still have a couple of you who are supposed to have your one-on-ones. So message me through Patreon. Give me a couple of days and dates and your time zone, and we can figure out when to do the one-on-ones. We can do them through Discord. We can do them through FaceTime, Zoom, however you want to do it. But I'd love to get those done because, you signed up for them. You're entitled to them. Cheers. This mug is a selfie that I took with my new iPhone a while back. A while back. And it was when they just introduced that black background that was all the rage. So yeah, that's what I took it with an iPhone. It's just me being. It was also my tribute to Red Dwarf, to Holly, the computer, played by the great Norman, and Hattie Haydridge played Hilly for a couple of seasons too. But yes, that's when I did it. Okay, so starting to crash hard, but thank you for joining me. I hope I've given you some value for money today. I hope you've had some fun. Thank you all for chipping in and discussing things. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. We've had a bit of rain here. We've got decorations up for Halloween. When I get the energy, I'm going to put the skeletons out front. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. I'll be back next week. Back for Blood hits next week, and I will tell you all sorts of things about Back for Blood because I'm really looking forward to playing final version of that game. You are all wonderful people. Have a great week. Be good. Love to you. Love to your loved ones. Enjoy yourselves because let's face it, you can't take it with you, can you? This is Brea saying, am I?